Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first episode of Wait, What? Why? The podcast that ponders the origins of why we do the things that we do. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us today as we dive into the wonderful world of superstitions. I'm Nicole Gallagher. This is my co-host,
Dennis Gallagher. I'm her husband.
How are you doing today, husband?
I'm doing lovely. How are you today, wife?
I'm doing just lovely as well.
Good. We got beautiful weather. It's beautiful, and we're in the recording studio instead of enjoying the weather. So let's try to look at the positive of being in here.
Yes.
Yes.
Together.
All
right.
For everyone.
All right. So our very first episode or first series, we are looking at superstitions. We're going to talk about various superstitions. And so let's start off by asking the question, are you a superstitious person?
Yes, I am. Very much. Are you asking me? Are you asking everybody else?
I'm asking you, dear.
Very superstitious, I think. Yes.
I know you're quirky in a lot of ways, but explain some of your superstitions.
Quirky and superstitious don't necessarily go hand in hand. However, I am both, yes. I don't know. I think it's mostly sports for me, and that's what started it. I don't remember being around particularly superstitious people growing up, except for sports. You know, you didn't want to jinx somebody. You didn't want to say the wrong thing and curse your team, so that it didn't perform well, or the outcome, you affected the outcome. And yeah, I think that's pretty much where it started, and now I think I do it all the time, regardless.
I agree. And we've talked about this because in our house we're sports fans. We watch a lot of New England sports, and it's amazing how you think that you can somehow influence the outcome of a professional game just by the clothes that you wear, the jerseys you wear, the traditions that you have, the things that you do. I sat out on like the second half of a New England Patriots Super Bowl because I felt like every time I was in the room, something would go wrong. And every time I left the room, they'd, get a first down. So I ended up just sitting outside and listening to it because somehow in my mind I was impacting the entirety of the game.
And the rest of us agreed with you and bought into it and really, barred you from the room during those times. Yeah, I mean, we were right on board. So all of us there were super superstitious.
And looking back at it, that was really dumb.
Oh, we've changed jerseys. I've changed jerseys at halftime more times than I can count. And, so sports is a huge one, but I do it even just when it comes to, any positive outcome of anything I'm doing, business or driving situation, doesn't matter. I'm superstitious right across the board, I'd have to say.
So when I was looking into different superstitions, I did look up sports and superstitions. And it was funny because I did expect to see the Curse of the Bambino on there as like a top.
Didn't come right up?
No. No, I didn't.
What trumped that?
A whole bunch of, it was like, so I'll give you a hint to the, all right, so there were two different sources I looked at. One was like Business Insider, which had, I think it was like the 30th strangest pre-game rituals. So pre-game rituals.
Okay.
And then I saw another one that was like the top 10 most superstitious athletes.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a guess. I know we didn't talk about this at all, but I'm going to let him guess who the number one strangest ritual, it is sports related.
Okay. I get one guess.
You get one guess because it's
a
Boston.
I'll go with Noma.
You're right.
Yes, Noma Garciaparra. Noma Garciaparra was a fantastic, I'm sure he's great at whatever he's doing now. He was a fantastic ball player for many years in professional baseball, and he was on the Red Sox for a bunch of them. And he was quirky. His ritual for pulling on his gloves and kicking his toes, and in between every pitch when he was in the batter's box, it was something to behold. And the same thing when he was out in the field. But so I'm not surprised it was Nomar. Really, I can't think of someone who was more quirky. He wasn't the number one. He wasn't. Who was?
No. No, I did misspeak because it comes up first because it's a countdown.
Oh. But I still think you're number one, Noma. You've still got my vote.
I remember watching him play, though, and that was definitely...
Great ball player.
bizarre how much time he took
It was important.
before stepping into
Obviously,
the box.
the results speak for themselves, right? No wonder he was doing all that stuff. Look how good he was playing. If he wasn't doing all that, he probably wouldn't even made the pros, right, Norma?
So I'll just bring up a couple. I'm not going to go through all of these, but the number one is really bizarre. And I've never heard of...
Is it a hockey goalie?
No, it's not.
Well,
but there are a lot of hockey goalies in there.
Of course there
Serena Williams kept coming
I
up
never knew that.
because she won't change her socks once during any kind of tournament.
Oh, my word. That is bad for your feet.
She also had some other pregame rituals.
I'm sure they all do that stuff.
Michael Jordan came up a lot. He would wear, I believe it was, always wear his college basketball shorts underneath
From
his
North Carolina,
NBA shorts.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Well, that obviously worked also.
That
So
worked
there we
for
go.
him,
For
too.
Superstitions. This all proves our point, right?
All right. And the number one sports pregame superstition is Lyoto Machida.
Yeah, so he's a UFC fighter.
He drinks his own pee
Oh, that is...
every day.
Really?
But
Wow.
it's not just him. If you look into it, so yeah, he's an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
He says people think it's a joke. I've never said it in the United States because I don't know how the fans will react. But I drink my urine every morning like a natural medicine. But his whole family does it. I think it's part of their...
Yeah. So he was really good. He had a good career, but I've also seen him get knocked out. So don't drink your own pee. That's the moral of that story. He can win that contest about having the bizarre, but yeah, that's gross.
All right. So, yeah, in all of that, we totally just got off topic, and I said I wasn't going to do that.
Topic,
but
right? We can talk about what we want.
In all of that, sports seems to be the most superstitious.
I would say.
And reverse the curse, that going back to my original point, the
Yeah.
curse of the great Bambino was
that's
not
the
in there,
biggest.
and
Yeah.
I thought it would be. But it was not.
I never thought the Red Sox were ever going to win a world title in my lifetime. They hadn't won one since 1918. They traded Babe Ruth, and he was the best player in baseball. And who the heck does that? Well, whoever was in charge of the Red Sox did that. And that was it. Red Sox never won another title after that. And it was just unbelievable. People tried to dig up the cornerstones of Yankee Stadium and bury jerseys underneath there. And all types of crazy, antics went on as a result of that. But they finally won in 2004, I guess, 2003, 2004. Yeah. And reversed the curse. But, the curse of the Bambino was huge. And the Yankees, if you ask the Yankees fan, they tell you the same thing. They enjoyed the curse of the Bambino. They were on the other end because they won a bunch. They won a bunch of titles after that.
The Red Sox winning that year was amazing.
It was important.
That was a lot of fun.
It was important. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, winning's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Which is why we do these things.
I'm a big fan.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why we are superstitious, because we like to win.
Yes, we do.
So, speaking of superstitions, what's your number one most superstitious thing that you do?
Oh, it's definitely going to be knock on wood. Saying it, finding wood to knock on, regretting if there's no real wood around. And I'll knock on my noggin if I have to, knock on my own head. I definitely say knock on wood and knock on wood all the time. That would be far and away my best. I bet you multiple times a day sometimes.
Right, I do too. I knock on wood all the time. That would be the number one.
I think we're saying we're quirky. You're quirky too.
I'm a little quirky.
I think everybody's a little quirky. That's the beauty of it.
Weird in our own little way.
I say everybody's weird, just some more than others, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're a little weird.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
People out there will let us know.
Yeah.
All right. So other superstitions, knocking on wood. What are some other? Maybe not that we do that you've heard of. I
don't know. Isn't like salt over your shoulder?
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of making that sound that I think it's funny that you make. I guess we're not supposed to make. There's a bunch of them. Also walking under a ladder. I mean, if you walk under a ladder, you get bad luck, and which I don't believe. But if you break a mirror, right? 7 years bad luck, which I absolutely do believe. I would die 1,000 deaths if I broke a mirror.
I don't think you would die 1,000 deaths.
On the inside, I would.
You would be nervous
great
about
anguish.
7 years?
No, 7 years is a long time.
What about bad luck always comes in threes? Is that a superstition? I believe that. I
believe that too.
Things happen in threes.
Yep. No, I'm a big believer in karma and things like that, which is kind of almost like a superstition, I guess.
No, that's more of like a belief.
Morality kind of thing.
That's part of
I believe in that also.
That's a really a belief system. But I also believe in. I think a lot of people believe in karma and they're not Hindu.
Right.
But,
Well, that's fair.
but that good things happen to good people, right? And bad things happen to bad people.
Sure. The ripple effect.
I just had another one.
What?
The 11:11 Make-A-Wish I had written down. Like if you see it on a clock and it's 11:11.
Yeah,
or
see,
all
I
the
don't know
same
that
numbers
one.
in a row,
I don't
you would
know
make
that
a
one.
wish.
No. I think it descended from witches.
I might be.
They immigrated into Brooklyn in Long Island.
That's where my mom's
They
from.
escaped from Salem.
What other? Black cat, did we say that?
Black cat's a big
crossing your
one. That's
path.
the worst. Black cat's the worst.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I guess there's a whole bunch of
There's a
them out
whole
there,
bunch
and
of
we
them.
should move on
Yeah, okay,
because
sure.
we're like 12 minutes in
Black
now.
cat's bad though.
So originally we were going to talk about the origins behind the term jinx and where that came from, but I feel like it's safe to know that we all know that jinx means you're going to make something bad happen if you don't correct it. So if you're saying something that is great that's happened in your life, or this podcast is going super well, we have so many listeners,
Right,
and
you're being a braggart.
I might knock on wood
Right.
3 times to be like, I don't want to jinx myself, I don't want something bad to happen, right?
Right.
So I think if you're being like boastful, or you're bragging, like you said, a braggart, then you would knock on wood.
Yeah, it's a way to cement the brag, so you can still, really brag and cement it. The knock cements it, so that it's still going to happen.
I wonder why. Like,
don't know,
you
but I
can't.
enjoy that.
Well, I get not being boastful. I get humility and being humble. But
Yeah, that might have something to do with it, to
maybe
keep you humble. I knock on wood to stay humble.
I guess so. You knock on wood so you don't bring yourself bad luck.
Right, exactly.
So then we should start with that. So jinx means to bring something bad, to undo whatever good's happening, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why we have all these superstitions. We don't want to jinx our team.
No.
We don't want to jinx ourselves. We don't want to jinx something good that's happening in the universe. So we knock on wood. So a little bit about the origins of that. Are you ready?
Sure, of course. Bring it on.
All right. So let's dig in. So some of this information I'm going to share right now came from history.com.
Sure.
As always, when you're doing research, there's little agreement on who did this first, like where it actually originated from, because believe it or not, people all around the world knock on wood, and they have different variations of what they do when they knock on wood, but pretty much everyone around the world knocks on wood, so it's not to jinx themselves. So going back to the history, one common explanation traces it back to ancient pagan cultures, such as the Celts, who believed that the spirits and gods resided in the trees and all things natural. So knocking on tree trunks may have served to rouse the spirits and call on their protection. They say it might have also been a way of showing gratitude for a stroke of good luck. So not necessarily being, bragging, but saying, thank you so much for all this.
Thanks.
That
makes sense. I mean, it was all about, I'm sure, their environment was, so crucial back then. Yeah, knocking on wood, knocking on trees, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
I agree with you.
I do.
Another theory is that people would knock on wood to chase away evil spirits or prevent them from listening in when they boasted about their luck, thereby preventing a reversal of fortune, which is what we just talked about.
Yep.
So that was the kind of the pagan culture behind that. And then the Christians, meanwhile, would link the practice to the wood on the cross from Christ's crucifixion.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
Sure.
And I read somewhere that the monks, some monks that had the big wooden crosses around their necks would sometimes knock on that. And then in Old English folklore, knocking on wood also referred to when people spoke of secrets. So they would sneak out into the forest where it was isolated and talk privately.
Tell their little secrets.
And would knock on the trees so that if anyone was listening in, including evil spirits, they wouldn't be able to hear them because
all
they were
is knocking noise.
knocking on
That
wood.
is ingenious. I like that too. If you're going to sneak around, remember that, everybody. Go just sneak around and go whack on the tree
Knock on the
and
wood.
talk your stuff. Yeah.
Although I think it would probably be hard for the person next to you to be able to hear what you're saying too.
Hey, they figured it out back then. Well, we could try it out. We'll go out later and we'll just knock on the tree in the backyard, the old maple tree, and we'll have a conversation.
So in looking around the world at the different variations of how people knock on wood, a lot of it's very similar to us. In Brazil and Portugal, it was required that 3 knocks are given.
I think I'm a 2-knock guy.
I think I am too, because
sure.
I've been like kind of paying attention to it. I guess this is how often we knock on wood right now.
Well, I've done it at least once today, I'm sure. I can't remember it. But...
I was thinking about it, and every time I do it, I think I knock twice.
Yeah, so I don't know. I may have to pay attention to that. How much do you all knock on wood? I mean, everyone out there.
If you do.
You know, I'd be interested to know. But
is there a certain number of knocks that are required? In Brazil
2.
and Portugal, there are 3.
Yeah, they're wrong.
And that also says, though, that it's considered social, like a social habit, like it's polite. So they don't actually believe that the 3 knocks will bring them good luck, but it's just a polite thing to do to demonstrate that one doesn't want the bad thing one is, talking about to happen.
Interesting.
So that got me to thinking, too, when someone sneezes and you say, bless you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, gesundheit, God bless you, whatever it is. Yeah.
Is that a superstition or a common courtesy?
Well, I had always heard, God, where did I pick this up? So I guess here comes the Catholic background, maybe. I had always heard that when you sneeze, your heart stops for a second, a nanosecond, whatever it is. And if you don't say God bless you, then that's a chance for the devil to sneak in.
That's what I heard growing up as a kid.
Yeah, me too.
When I Googled it, because I
Google say?
Everything.
What's the Google say?
It said that it was...
The devil's going to come in?
Pope Gregory I, Gregory the Great, during the time of the plague, would say, God bless you after a person sneezed in hopes that his prayer would protect them from an otherwise certain death. So he would bless the people. But I don't think that's how we do it. Well, maybe some people do. I don't know.
Right,
but I think that ours is more of like manners, like please and thank you. If someone sneezes, you say, just bless you.
It is a nice gesture. I like hearing it. It's soothing. Because
let's face
it, a sneeze can be rather violent.
I don't feel like we're actually trying to bless someone. I feel like you're just being like...
I'm trying to keep the devil out of their house.
It's just so common.
Interesting.
But I also heard that your heart stopped, but I don't think that's true.
I don't know that it's true either. I never followed up on a lot of this stuff.
Some of you medical background listeners, if you want to email us and give us a little rundown on if that's true or not and the reasoning behind that and why we think that would be awesome.
Right.
It's Wait What Why Pod.
Wait What Why.
At gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
All one word, all lowercase. Wait What Why Pod at gmail.com. Let us know why we think... Or if your heart stops when you sneeze. I don't think it does. I could probably Google that right now, but I won't waste everyone's time. We don't want to get any
deeper than Google, to be honest with you. Let's employ some other folks.
All right, so...
Come in a quick Google search.
Should we talk a little bit about broken mirrors, or...
Well, like I said, I'm not breaking a mirror. That would bum me right out.
So then
you
let's talk about that.
I
do have a little bit behind that. And it's funny because...
Don't break mirrors, folks.
There are some superstitions behind, like more so than the 7 years bad luck. Actually, I found this really interesting. So let's dive a little deeper into this one because I never knew this. Maybe you have known this.
Diving into the mirrors.
I always thought, or this is what I've always grown up with, is that when you break a mirror, you have 7 years of bad luck.
Sure.
Right?
Me too. Yeah. And
when I was researching it, there were all of these other mirror superstitions that went along with it. So, and then reading through it, I was like, oh, I remember that. So you remember Bloody Mary?
Yes.
So Bloody Mary was a game that you would play. And it's kind of, I guess it's a folklore. But the original Mary in this myth is Mary Tudor, the first Queen of England. She earned this title after burning 280 people alive for being Protestants. That's Bloody Mary Tudor. But the folklore claims that if you light a candle in a dimly lit room and chant Bloody Mary 3 times into a mirror, you will see a woman dripping with blood in the reflection.
Ooh.
Legend says she may scream at you or even reach through the mirror and wrap her cold hands around your throat.
No, thank you.
Some even says that she might, like, come out of the mirror and come after you.
Wow. Yeah, that's no bueno. Not
I don't
that
think
at all.
I ever did that.
No way.
Did you ever do a Ouija?
I did. I have done Ouija. Yeah, don't like
Another time.
Yeah,
we'll
no.
get into that another time.
Don't like the Ouija either.
All right. So 7 years bad luck. We've all. I think everyone. I think this is common. I think most people heard about
universal,
this.
But
There are potential curse reversal options according to. All right. So I have to
get
say
out of jail
that
free cats, right?
it's pretty funny. In doing the research with this, you can always look up things on Wikipedia and other things, but the ones that I found the most interesting are mirror salesmen.
Wow, people who obviously
Yes.
break mirrors more than most.
So twowaymirrors.com is where they actually have all of this, like the myths and the superstitions behind.
They can break the
mirrors.
because they're cursed all the time.
Yes.
Oh man, who would ever take a job as a mirror salesman? Now think about that.
What?
That's a tough job.
I don't. Oh, do you mean
Because you're breaking
because
mirrors
the potential
all the time?
to break
yeah,
them?
that's what it is. That's why this is like this.
I just.
They're looking to reverse the curse.
Yes.
This is like what do you call them when they get together? It's a bunch of them get together and compare notes as to how to make the curses go away.
I think you need to be careful. You need to wrap the mirrors.
Right?
So they say that there are potential curse reversal options for breaking a mirror. Number 1, and I never knew there was a reverse the curse for mirror breaking, but you can wait a couple hours before picking up the broken fragments, then take every last bit of mirror and bury it outside in the moonlight.
Okay.
Throw salt over your left shoulder onto the devil himself.
Okay.
Because apparently he's standing right behind you.
Got it? Is it just because I broke the mirror, or is he standing behind me in general?
I
I hope so too.
Or you
Where's
can
that salt shaker?
everyone. You need those little salt packets, that are tiny and have the 2 little tubes.
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
just be like, or you can take a single piece of the mirror and touch it to a tombstone, and it has an immediate effect, according to
We
this
live
website.
right next to a cemetery. That is
do.
perfect. That is good to know. I could be at a headstone in less than 35, 40 seconds. Right? No
You
doubt
could be.
about it. You make a
could
damn
be.
stocking feet.
I think the salt would be quicker since it's in the kitchen, but
Yeah. Well, it's good to have options, though. Right?
I've never heard of any of
We
those.
got headstones right over there. That's great.
I know. There are
What
also,
else does that cover? Oh, the gloves may come off if I can just have rub a headstone. I mean, that's awesome. I could get away from all types of superstitions.
This is only mirror breaking, sorry.
bye.
Well, I don't know. We'll find out as we go
We'll
into
do more research.
future episodes about what else.
All the gravestones out back will be all buffed off. The little buff marks
From you.
for me rubbing them. They'll hire me.
There are some good luck. There are some good luck things with mirrors. It can bring good luck to newlyweds. It is said that if a married couple looks into a mirror shortly after they say I do, they are uniting their souls. So in a lot of them, it's common belief that when you're looking into the mirror, you're looking into the soul of someone. And there is a religious origin to this. It's behind the mirror being a window to the soul. So this is found on another mirror website, but I've had multiple
Not by the mirror
sources to
salesman.
back this up. No, it is, but there are
Oddly.
multiple sources. Yeah, so this says that fragments of highly polished obsidian found in Turkey have been dated back to 6000 BC and are believed to be some of the first examples of man-made mirrors. So back then, if a person glimpsed their reflection, they believed that they were actually seeing their soul staring back at them. And to cause damage to the reflection would be to damage your soul.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then also, if you look at like vampires, right? Vampires can't see their own
They don't show up.
reflections.
Yep, that's
Why?
right. Good point.
Because they're
No
soulless.
soul. That's right.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense.
It does make perfect sense.
See, the research bears out.
So, again, the good luck part, if you say you do, I do, when you're getting married and you look into the mirror together, you're uniting your souls together.
Did we do that?
We didn't.
We
But I
looked
feel
into
like
the
there's
ocean.
something. We did.
We did.
Maybe our reflections or in the water.
Matter of fact, I recall our reflections in the waves.
I recall my reflection in your eyes.
Sorry, we digress. Good luck from yours.
Another one is to cover a mirror to trap a lost soul. So once someone has passed away, their soul is released from the body and starts to roam. Legend says that if a soul encounters a mirror before their body is buried, typically within the first 3 days of passing, their soul will be trapped in a mirror. This is said to cause mirrors to tarnish or even turn into an image of the deceased. People have claimed to see faces of the dead appear in old antique mirrors. Is this just a trapped soul? And this is something that they do when someone passes in Judaism.
What is that?
If someone died, no, they cover all the mirrors in their house.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Let's see, what else? If you drop a mirror and somehow it doesn't break, that means good luck is coming your way.
Well, I like that too.
Yeah. So, breaking a mirror has its, well, I guess not breaking
not
it.
Really.
Breaking it's bad,
Right.
But it can also, a mirror can bring good luck.
It can bring good luck and trap souls.
Or unite them.
Or unite them. Mirrors are very powerful, right? Like mirrors are very powerful.
Lovingly.
Yes.
All right. So for today, we talked a little bit about superstitions.
Covered a fair amount of ground, right?
And what jinx means.
Mm-hmm.
The origins behind some of the origins behind knocking on wood.
Yep.
And some interesting little history or fun facts behind the breaking of a mirror.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
And we found out that we're pretty dang superstitious.
A little bit.
Yep, sports
fans. A
little quirky. Love you, Noma. Shout out, Noma Gassipara. Woo.
All you Boston sports fans are feeling us right now.
Oh, yeah. The ones who dislike me immensely, because, sorry about that.
Don't worry. We won't,
Just like you too.
We won't talk too much about
See you on the field.
Boston sports. But anyway, all right. So let's put an end to this little
let's wrap it up.
love. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us today.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely appreciate you. So if you have any superstitions or stories that you'd like us to delve into or just share with our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Please email us at waitwhatwhypod@gmail.com. Say it again.
waitwhatwhypod@gmail.com.
All lowercase, all one word. We'd love to hear from you. And join us next time as we discuss more superstitious behaviors. Please remember to subscribe, leave a review, and tell a friend. See you next time.
Bye.